Hello guys, welcome to this Vibey Vibes. Welcome to our Raised in Africa series. Today I want to talk about our educational system. To be honest, there are so many topics on this that I'm going to discuss. So maybe in the next 4 weeks we're going to continually talk about educational system. But the first thing and one of the things that I would say kind of annoys me a lot that I think about sometimes. Lucky me, I didn't go through it myself, but that was because I was actually talked to how not to avoid such situation or things like that. And also I was quite little. See, I'm little now, so I was very little then too. So I look like a baby, so that did help. Okay, so let's talk about sex for grades. How about that? Okay, so today we're talking about sex for grades. I know. Okay, I'm going to start from secondary school. I know people are going to be like, secondary school, really? Yes, secondary school. When I was in secondary school, I knew so many students that were dating teachers. You might call that a relationship, but how can that be a relationship? They are teenagers. How can that really be a relationship? That they are with an adult, a full-grown man. Because I went to a girls' school, so mostly it was the men to the female, so it was not the other way around. I didn't see that. Like I was saying, I knew people. Like I had actually, in my naivety, gone in on the weekend. I remember I went with one girl that used to live close to me. I literally went with her to visit her boyfriend that was a teacher. Like she's like, oh, let's go. And I just mumutu. And I followed her. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to talk about this because that is where it starts from. Like that is pedophilia, by the way. But in our society, that's another thing where we need to define what is the right sexual age, like between an adult and an adult. It should be between an adult and an adult. To me, I think it should be 18 years old. But some countries, I think in EU is 16 years old. But I don't think 16 is right. I think 18 is better. But at the same time, we need to actually define it. And it needs to be something that is known. And it needs to be something that is punishable. And also, the student-teacher relationship, it should not even happen. Whether they're in universities, whether they're doing PhD, that is something that is frowned upon because that brings favoritism, and it brings about, okay, how are you going to grade them even if they were adults? But now let's go back to the secondary school situation, right? I remember when because in my secondary school I went to government girls secondary school, Rumeme Ajip Junction, Port Harcourt, River State. That was my secondary school. So we have these quarters whereby the teachers do live in that quarter, right? So the teachers' quarters, we have teachers living there, right? We had this relative of ours, my mom's relative, I'll say maybe second cousin, that was a teacher. And we have some teachers that always stay underneath the tree. Like, I don't know if it's still that way, but when you enter the school, once you enter through the main gate, there's this place close to the buildings where it's for the from SS1. Because we have the part that's from junior, JS1, JS2, like they have different buildings for that. But the part that is from, I think, SS1, that area, there are trees around there, and the teachers just used to always sit down around there. I don't know if there are always chairs there or if they're just, I don't know, they're always hanging out around there, right? And we had this my mom's second cousin. I would say it's not like a close relative. It's like, I think second cousin. I'm just giving him that name because, to be honest, I don't know like what kind of, everybody's your uncle. You don't know, like, what I mean, the kind of relationship. Like the first cousin, he's not first cousin, so I don't know if it has to be second cousin. I'm thinking that is related to my mom, and every time he sees me or my sister, he will always say, "This is my sister's daughter." ways. Like if I'm passing, he will be saying, "This is my sister's daughter." Do you know? Just oh, he's so proud that he's my, like maybe he's proud of us, that he keeps on telling them that no, this is my sister daughter. No. Later on, I realized that the reason why he kept on saying this is my sister's daughter is because he knows his friends and what all of them they are doing. So he is telling them that this is my sister's daughter, so that they know that this is a no-go area. But I didn't get it, right? And then I remember I had this for the maths. I'm talking about this like my story, to be honest, instead of talking about, I think that's the best way for me to tell the whole sex for grace thing, right? Okay, so most people do that and it's wrong. But then let me just tell my story. Okay, so I remember when I was in SS2, I studied for the maths. And this maths teacher, it was our maths teacher and it was also our for the maths teacher, right? I would solve things. I got it right. I got the answer right. Maybe not his own method, or I did not follow step by step. And he would always be like, hard on me. Like, kind of sometimes fail me like, how did you get to the answer? But I can show my own working in my own way. But it was kind of like he wanted it his own way. And all this happened. And then I used to think that this man really, really hated me. But I liked him. He was a good teacher, right? He was very, very good teacher. So I liked him because he was a good teacher. So then fast forward, after some time, like I think after that he was like that. Then after a while, he stopped. So I was like, okay, but me too, I also started following his own way, so that I don't get into trouble like him, marking me wrongly even if I'm going right. So then I have finished secondary school now, and I think I was maybe either 17 years old at that time. And I went out. It was about the Christmas period. I know during that period, like everybody, like all your uncles and all that, they'll just be giving you money. So I went out to one of my uncle or family friend, I don't know, place, and then they gave me some money. So I had money in my hand, right? And I was coming back a bit late, like in the evening. It was evening, but it was a bit dark, right? Not late, but it was just dark. The weather was dark. So I remember I was at Ajib Junction. I think then they just built the road and the whole place, like it looks very, very free. Like there was not too many cars or anything like parking. So I was waiting for a taxi to take to inside, because we're living in Road 24. So if you know that area, you understand what I'm talking about. So I was there. I saw him. So I was like, hello, sir. You know what I mean? Called brother, sir. So I was like, hello, sir. And I was greeting him, right? And he was like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. And then I went to my pocket, Mrs. Giver. I took 1,000 naira to give to this man. I don't want to insult him. So when I took the money, I said, sir, take this for Christmas. And then he looked at me and he said, I'm happy about the money, but I would prefer to spend quality time with you. My mouth fell on the floor. I cannot remember, to be honest. I just knew I was so pissed, but now I cannot remember if I was so pissed about what he said. I don't know if I took my money. I've already given, he already held the money. But I wanted to take my money back. I don't even know why I did not tell him to give my money. Like, if it was now, me now, I'd be like, give me the money. And they give me, then I would just be gone. Then I took the taxi, and then I got home. But I was so pissed. That got me angry. And I was so pissed I gave him the money still. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that old man wanted to spend quality time. So then that made me think that, all this time he was failing me and all that, maybe so that I would go to him and be like, me, I was never someone that knows how to go to teachers one-on-one. It was not my thing. So maybe he was expecting me to go to him and say, sir, can you teach me? Okay, why is it? But I never did that. Maybe that's why after a while he got over it. Maybe that was his intention, although I was quite little. Like I said, I was actually very little. Okay. So, that's apart, right? Then I remember when I was going into university. So when I was going to university, I remember my sister and my aunties, they called me and they said, because we talked about this over Sabi, like when it comes to education, like I like to answer questions, I like to ask questions, I'm that kind of person. So I remember them sitting me down and telling me, you're going to university now. Do not ask questions. Don't sit in front. Don't ask questions. In fact, just be invisible as much as possible. Now, that was an advice they were giving to me. Why? Because they don't want a situation whereby a lecturer will be interested in me and then I will not accept and then I will fail. So they were trying to give me heads up on how to behave. Because if I always answer a question, the lecturer will know my name, the lecturer will know me. And as much as I was still little, I was not like, you know what I mean? If I was maybe all those people that dress, call them Maria Maka, or like, sorry, different like people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like your guys kind of dressing, you know. If I was that kind of person, then maybe even if I'm busybody, they call it busybody, but it doesn't mean that I'm busybody. I just ask questions a lot. But yeah, I don't. No, I'm not that busybody. But anyway, I do ask questions a lot. But even if I'm just asking questions, answering the questions and things like that, and then I will not be in trouble because they will know that this one I might just leave that one go. But they might not look at me and say, oh, this is a small girl. They will still be interested in small picking. So, you know, because of that, I was told to be careful. Don't ask questions. Go to the class. Don't sit in front. You know, and I had to stick to that until, like, by the grace of God, I traveled and I didn't finish my university back home and I finished it here. But what I am saying is this, right? Imagine being taught that. But now let's talk about sex for grades. Like, this is my own story that I've just talked about. But let's talk about maybe what other people have had to go through. So most of these girls in secondary school, they have to, sometimes, to be honest, in secondary school, I felt like somehow, yeah, they might, I don't think it was as bad as it was in uni. Not that the act was worse because they were younger children. But it is the, like, they go for, you know, they have the girls that are big girls, you know, the ones that have started, you know, they take their skirt a bit up. It's not that it's a bad thing, but that is the people they go after. I think they have to go after them. I don't think they were not failing them. Maybe they were, or they were threatening to fail them, or they go to people that were already, how would I say, they're already exposed to those kind of, like, to having relationships and know that I've grown a bit fast. But at the same time, it shouldn't be like, it should be wrong. Like, it shouldn't be okay, because this thing is true. We're going to talk about a different topic. We're going to talk about pedophilia in Africa. That's going to be a topic on its own. But for now, let's just brush through this as if it's even a normal thing, when we all know it's not a normal thing. Yeah. So that happens to people. Some people are forced to because they're scared of failing, or maybe the teacher will just be flogging you anyhow for anything that you do. So, you know, all this kind of stuff. So they do it, you know. But in universities, that is where it is much worse. It starts in secondary school, but the lecturers, they would fail you. Like, not only them, they would tell their friends, and their whole friends will fail you. They would make your life a living hell if you refuse them. You would be so intelligent that you can see that, like, you know exactly what you're doing, and they would fail you still. So it just takes the grace of God. I'm telling you, the grace of God and a lot of innocency. Like, you have to literally act very innocent. You have to literally, you know what I mean? Like, when they're talking to you, don't be acting like, just be acting like a baby. If you're lucky, you look very little, then just pretend like you're like Tata, like you don't understand what they're saying. You know, when they're talking, you're like, say, so I want to, my sister told me this story. I don't know if she, I don't think she'll be sad if I told this story. It's her story, but oh well. Since I'm the one talking, let's talk. Yeah, my sister told me this story of one lecturer that told her that he would like her to be his baby, and she's like, sir, I'm already your baby now. Your baby, you know, like, just be acting like you're, like, the man talk, and then the man realized that he thought that, oh, she's not understanding what he says, she's not coding, so then he just let her be. So sometimes you kind of have to not be coding, you know what I mean? Even if you know, pretend like you don't know what they're saying. That could help. But at the end of the day, it's just the grace of God. I'm telling you, it is just the grace of God. So studying, doing your university in Africa, I would say Nigeria more, because I don't know how other African countries are, but in Nigeria, it is the grace of God. It is the grace of God. Everything is the grace of God, but that one is like, you need extra grace, because God help you. Okay, so that will be it for today. I hope this shed some light to people maybe that don't know what's happening, and all those that do know what's happening. I cannot wait for the day whereby there are laws. I know there are some situations, there have been cases where think there was one where someone recorded someone and then it got into, I mean, I think the lecturer got fired. And I think that with social media now, there are some things that you can do. Like, I mean, you can carry your phone, put it on, put it on and record them. Buy a camera if you can, the ones that you put somewhere in your body that they would not even know, and record everything they're saying and use it against them. But one thing also is that when you do that to them, the other ones might come against you. So that's another thing, but you can. So now there are so many things that people can do to fight against these acts. But what do we have as a law? It should be against the law for if a teacher, a lecturer, ever, whether the person is doing PhD, ever have any relations with the students, whether it is a grandma that is doing PhD, if a teacher ever, like if you're in a superior position, it should be against the law for you to, and that kind of thing should get you to lose your job if people even find out that it is happening. That's how it should be. Then if it is that way, then the fear of losing their job will start teaching them respecting themselves, and that can also aid in, people just actually getting their grades, because getting your grade in a Nigerian university is hard. Now we're going to talk about that in other, like when we're talking about other things like bribery, sorting. That's going to be maybe the next topic for next week. So I hope this has shed some light for people that don't know, and for people that know, we have to put our heads together and figure out ways. I don't know if this kind of thing is happening to you. You can email me. It's at justvibevibes@gmail.com. Email me, tell me your situation, and I'm going to tell you I'll give you ideas on how to get that lecturer fired or something, because we need to start doing that they start getting respect for themselves and not be like, so that our girls don't have to go through what they're going through in universities. Okay, so please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you some other time.